Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fairy Tale Wiki Twitter Talk. We hope you're all having a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you may be listening from. As you all know, we're here to interview fairy tale fans from Twitter. Our fans have a variety of hobbies, and we love to chat about them, as well as how the fairy tale anime and fairy tale manga inspired them. Today we have Eli Mango. She's a cosplayer and she does TikTok videos based on fairy tale and is an anime fan in general. So we wanted to have her on to welcome her. So, Eli, how are you today?
Hi, thank you for inviting me. And thank you. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm doing good too, and thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm very honored.
Glad to hear it. So let's just get right into it. You're a fan of the fairy tale series, so how did you become a fan?
I think I became a fan when I was 16, maybe because I was at my friend's house and he was borrowing me some mangas, and I saw Fairy Tail, and I was like, that seems interesting. But he was, nah, this is nothing good. But then I fell in love with Fairy Tail, and and that's it. Now I have read all the manga, so the anime. I did so many cosplays, so
Well, we're definitely going to talk about those. So when it comes to fairy tale, do you prefer the anime or are you more interested in the manga?
I don't know. The one thing that I love most in the anime is the music. I really fell in love with the music because it is so energetic, and I think it is perfect for all the characters. But my love came with the manga, so maybe the manga.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. Now, you just mentioned the characters, so obviously you've cosplayed quite a lot, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But before we do that, we're going to talk about something specific to the series. So, first of all, who would you say is your favorite character in the series?
I don't know because I love most of the characters. Uh, I think maybe Erza Scarlet, because I cosplay all my favorite characters. So I think she's the first one that I love most because I feel very similar to her with the characters and everything. But I really love the ship with Lucy and Natsu, some ship, Nalu ship. So maybe, but I don't really have one that I prefer over the others because I'm fond of every character there. So it's a very difficult question.
That's definitely something you hear a lot, and it's totally understandable. I mean, Fairy Tail has a lot of interesting characters, so if you can't really decide on who your one particular favorite is, makes sense. But on the flip side of that, who would you say is your least favorite character in the series?
That's even more difficult. mm, I don't really know. That's the most difficult question I've ever asked. Mm, okay, I don't know. I had to think a little bit about it. The one I like the least, maybe it's Acnologia, but because I didn't like how they built the character. I think that he could have been a more interesting, more something more. I don't know how to say in English. More specific, more deep character, and I think it is a little bit superficial. I don't know. Help me if I say something wrong in English, please.
I think that first of all, I think your English is fine, and I understand what you're
Okay.
saying about Actilogia. Maybe you think he wasn't very well developed and he was underused.
Yes, that's the point. Yes.
Yeah, it's something I've heard a lot of people say about his character, and I think it does make sense because for a long time he was just a kind of a dragon. It was just like, oh, I'm going to destroy everything. He didn't really have much motivation, so it wasn't very satisfying for some people because, maybe they want something that's more interesting.
Yes, I think he could have been more. It could have been more. Yes, interesting. He could have been also a good villain for the series, but he had not enough space enough in the story, or yes, just the author didn't develop the character very well. Maybe yes.
On that note, what would you say is the thing in Fairy Tale which you like the least?
In general, I think the main story, I think it's okay. I don't really like very much how it's going the 100 years quest story. Uh, I didn't read it completely because I started, but I didn't like it very much. So for now I stopped it, and maybe in the future when I have time, I will reread everything again because or maybe it was the mood, maybe so many things. But I think that that is the part that I like the least.
Would you say this is because it's not Hiro Mashima who's writing the series? It's actually a different author? Maybe you feel there's a little bit of a disconnect?
Yes, maybe it's a little bit. I don't, I don't, I don't know how to explain what I didn't like. Yes, it's like it is in a little different line, uh, res- from the original series. It's little things, but there is something that don't convince me 100%. But I want to give it a second opportunity, so I will reread also because there are many things that uh, can change idea. So also the moods, the period. There are many things. Maybe rereading all together will give another idea of the story.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. And on the flip side, and on a more positive note, what would you say is the thing about fairy tale in general which you like the most?
The relationship between the characters. I really love these energetic bonds between them, all the love between them. It is something that I would like to have also in real life within people.
So kind of that whole theme of friendship and togetherness and everybody
Yeah.
accepting one another.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of the more popular aspects of fairy tale, so I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, something too pure for this world, but yes.
When it comes to fairy tale, if there was any particular thing you could change, what would that be?
Okay, in the story.
In the story or with the specific character?
Mm, um, good thing. Maybe I know. Maybe I'm saying all these the same things, but I would develop better Acnologia because I don't know. This is one thing that made me very sad because at the beginning it seems so a great character because also the villains have to be good. If you hate them, they're well developed and well built. So uh, this is something that I think Fairy Tail misses at the end in the final uh, in the final moment. Okay. Um, I think that little thing would have made the final more interesting. I would change the final a little bit. The final, how it went with Acnologia and the final battle. I think it could have been more developed better, maybe not in another way.
Yeah, I think we talked about that earlier, so it makes sense that that's your opinion. Now, I want to ask you some things about your hobbies. When it comes to fairy tale, obviously we found your profile because you've done some videos for TikTok and you've done some cosplays of different characters. So, first of all, what got you into cosplaying as a hobby?
I fell in love with cosplay when I went for my first time at Luca Comics. I don't know if you know, it's a very big uh, event here in Italy, one of the biggest, where there is cosplay, there are mangas and everything, a con. And I saw so many cosplayers that were having so much fun, and they were all beautiful. And I decided I had to do it, and so it began. And my first cosplay was in 2011, I think, but it was just the first time. Then I stopped and began again in 2015. And Erza Scarlet was one of my first cosplay. I think the second or the third one. I don't remember. One of the first.
And how long ago was this?
Okay, it's 2022, no. From 2015, almost every year a new cosplay. For example, sometimes some years not, some years yes, but I can say that it began like a hobby in 2015. I did cosplays with my boyfriend, so uh, we're having fun with friends at the cons. But 2 years ago, something changed, and it became one big passion. And so now I'm really into cosplay and everything, and trying to improve my skills, because I like to do the cosplays by myself where I can. So just trying to improve very much in everything.
Now we've seen that you've done a lot of cosplays. So far, who is your favorite character whom you've cosplayed?
um, Maybe I would say Cindy Aurum from Final Fantasy 15, because many of my cosplays are from video games, and I think this cosplay was important for me because it was the beginning of this, one of the reasons of the change in my view of cosplay 2 years ago. So also, I really like the character, but it is one of the not one of the pillars of my journey in cosplays. I don't know how to say. And so one of my favorites that gave me more satisfaction in don't know how to say, in many fields of cosplay is Cindy.
Now we also saw that when it comes to your Twitter profile, you've posted some videos that you actually posted to TikTok. And obviously TikTok is a new social media platform that is, it's getting pretty popular. So how did you transition from just doing cosplays to doing cosplays on TikTok?
I tried TikTok just for fun, I know. I think, and I was just thinking about trying TikTok because it was very popular and I wanted to see how it was. But I'm not very good at it because there are people that make very complicated videos, very beautiful videos, and maybe because I'm a newbie, but I'm do little videos, maybe with sometimes transition, but I'm not very good at it. So I'm just putting videos there, um, random videos, but it is something that, and I don't know, maybe it is not my social favorite social, but I'm trying my best.
Now, since you started cosplaying, obviously as being the big hobby that it is, what has been your most positive experience so far?
Okay, my most positive. Uh, okay, this is a difficult answer because here in Italy, the community in cosplay is not always very positive. I don't know why, but there is so much hatred inside between cosplayers. So just for example, arriving at a con and another cosplayer stops you and tells you that your cosplay is very well made and everything. Just that for me is a very big goal. And I think the most beautiful thing is to meet other cosplayers at the cons and become friends, just because you come from the same anime or the same manga. So this is the beginning of a friendship.
Now, obviously, some people think of cosplaying as like a really tough hobby to get into because maybe you have to buy the costume and spend money, or you have to get all the materials and assemble it yourself. So maybe they view it as something that has a high barrier to entry. So if somebody were to come to you and say, "Hey, I want to cosplay, but I really don't know how to get started," what advice would you give to that person?
Okay, I think the first cosplay you don't. The first thing is just to have fun. I have some friends that told me that just I want to cosplay. So, uh, for example, my friends bought the cosplay of the characters that they love, and we went all together to the con. I think that the first cosplay don't have to be perfect. My first cosplay was awful, really awful. So the most important thing is just to have fun and not thinking about other people's comments, because I don't know in the other. I don't, I don't know elsewhere, but here in Italy, also at the cons, there are people that make not very good comments also to people, to cosplayers there. So just to have fun with friends is better, because the more the better. And yes, to take it easy. I don't know.
So, what are some of your favorite anime aside from Fairy Tail?
Okay, one of my favorite anime now. I'm really I'm I'm reading and seeing Yona of the Dawn, for example, and um, and I'm also following Attack on Titans.
Have you ever cosplayed from either of those?
Not for now, because Yona is one of my future cosplays, and yes, for now, not for now, but I have a long list of future cosplays, and they're in there in the future.
Awesome. So, when it comes to cosplays in general, how do you decide which one you want to do? Is it just based on the character, or do you have a specific process in mind?
I begin choosing the character that I want to cosplay, and if I can, I do some instance just to see if I look good, or if I feel, most important, if I feel good in that character. And if there are different outfits for that character, um, I choose the one that I love the most and that I can make by myself, because I'm self-taught in these things, so I don't have so many abilities in doing this. And if I like something that I can do, I will buy it.
Now, obviously, because of COVID-19, conventions and similar events, they haven't been going on for over a year now. So a lot of cosplayers have had a lot more difficulty finding the motivation because now you can't go to Comic Con or wherever to show off your cosplays. So obviously social media has kind of filled in the gap, but not really. So I want to ask you a hypothetical question. When conventions return to normal, are you going to go?
Yes, yes, I miss convention so much. So yes, here in Italy we had in this summer some 2, 3 conventions, because they were safe with open air and everything, so they were allowed. And I went to this convention. So when they will open, if I will consider if they're safe for the COVID and everything. And then yes, if I consider them safe, I will go.
Now you told us that you're from Italy, so I'm curious. We've had some other cosplayers and other guests who are from different countries. Some of them are in Europe. So in your country, what is the general scene like when it comes to anime fandom?
Uh, Not very good, because there are many stereotypes here in Italy. So uh, we nerds and otakus are not very well seen. I don't know if I'm saying good in English, but there are many people that consider us like children that never grow up. But there are also people that, for example, if they see cosplayers at a con, they're also happy and curious about this world and everything. They bring children with them, so there is hatred and love, but most of all, there is too much hatred for me.
Yeah, it can definitely be difficult depending on where you live. So I'm curious about that. If it's maybe a little bit difficult when you're over there, have you ever, tried to move somewhere else? I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just asking.
Trying to move in a different country, or
Sure.
no, I never. I think I'm I traveled a lot, but I never thought of moving elsewhere. But I would like to try some convention outside from Italy, because I think they are better. So I'm curious. I would like to try to see also how they live these worlds in different countries.
Everywhere is quite unique in that regard. So if I got the chance to, travel once the pandemic was over, I think I would definitely like to do that as well.
Yes, yes, I think it would be very interesting.
And speaking of interesting, this is pretty much where most of the questions typically end. So, Eli Mango, I just want to ask you, like, is there anything else that you would like to talk about, or anything that you would like to mention before we close the podcast?
No, I think I'm good. I hope you understand what I said, because sometimes I mm, I have difficulty in explain what I'm thinking in English, but I hope everything went good.
Well, I think it made sense to me, and I was able to understand everything you were saying. So I'm sure everyone else will probably be fine.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, so I'm fine.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you very much for being here. We really appreciate it. We love talking to our fans. I mean, this is what Fairy Tale Wiki Twitter Talk is all about, just bringing fans together and, talking to them and trying to get to know them because, you guys are the ones who make Fairy Tale Wiki's Twitter account as successful as it is. So this is one way of, getting to know you and saying thank you.
Thank you. You were very kind, and I was very happy to be here and talk with you.
I'm glad to hear that. And thank you all for listening to today's episode. We hope you've all had a good time. We will be back soon with our next episode, but for now, please like and subscribe to our channel and check out some of our channel's other videos. Thank you all, and we hope you all have a great day.